Hello, my name is Kirk Wayman with Icon Coaching, and in this video we're going to talk about 5 things that successful entrepreneurs have learned that amateurs are hoping aren't true.
The keys to get started.
The first one is this. Successful entrepreneurs have learned that there's really no such thing as a good idea. Now, what do I mean by that? Because you can see that successful entrepreneurs are doing things in their businesses that appear to be really good ideas. Here's the problem. We think entrepreneurs are people who have good ideas. And that's not really true. Entrepreneurs are people who have bad ideas, just like the rest of us. But then they are willing to do the work to make those ideas good. There's no way to have a good idea. They don't just land in our lap. We don't just discover them. We don't think them up. What we think up is an idea, and it's probably a bad one to start with. And then we go through the process of what we call entrepreneurship, which is the process of putting that idea to work and figuring out how to make it better and better and better and better. Over time, it does become a good idea. You see, but entrepreneurs are just people who are willing to do that work. And so many amateurs are sitting around their offices or their homes or the coffee shops, and they're just trying to think up a good idea. They have a whole list of ideas that they think are good, but they don't know which one's the best, and so they don't know what to do. Entrepreneurs aren't trapped by that way of thinking. They know that there's no such thing as an intrinsically valuable idea. You and the execution of you is what has intrinsic value. And when you apply that to ideas, you learn how to make them good. Along the same lines, entrepreneurs know, especially the successful ones, that there's no such thing as an original idea. Lots of people are trying to think up something original. And original in that context means something that's never been thought of before, a brand new idea. And unfortunately, that's not how entrepreneurship works. I'm not sure that's how thinking works. What we tend to have is ideas that are already in the ecosystem. What entrepreneurs can do is they can see what's going on in the environment around them, and they can see problems and they can connect it to solutions. But they're already right there. It's just a way of seeing. And what's often true is many people are having the same idea at the same time, and they start to bring it to market. And a lot of people start to compete inside of a space around a particular problem and a particular solution. That's actually evidence that it's a valuable space to be in. Rarely do you find yourself in a place where you have an idea to solve a problem and there's no competition and nobody else is trying to solve that problem. That's not actually a good place to be in. You see, this way of seeing that entrepreneurs have, they're not worried about original ideas. They're worried about seeing something that's an opportunity. Because what entrepreneurs can do is they see opportunity in chaos. Now, chaos, by that I just mean the uncertainty and the unknown of life, the future, often. Think about it. The future is where all the uncertainty is. And entrepreneurs are people who can see that, into that chaos and into that future, and they see opportunity. Some people just see chaos. They don't even see the opportunity. Some people can see opportunity in chaos, but that's as far as they go. And what an entrepreneur does is sees opportunity in chaos and then moves into the chaos and brings order to it. That's the whole thing. It's not an original idea. It's an idea that's right in front of you. It's just the act of walking into the chaos and bringing order to it and then delivering that order to the rest of us. Entrepreneurs aren't trying to have an original idea. They're trying to see problems, find solutions that are right in front of us and put them together in unique ways. Because of this idea of walking into the chaos, walking in and ordering the chaos, it turns out that's a lot of hard work. And so number 3, entrepreneurs know that there's no easy button. They're not even looking for one. What's tricky about this is oftentimes you'll see an entrepreneur or you'll see a business person do something that is actually quite hard, but they make it look easy. The only reason they can make it look easy is because they've done it before. In fact, they've done it over and over and over. In fact, they've done it so many times they've kind of made all the mistakes already. In the beginning, it wasn't easy, but they did the work to figure out how to put it together in a way that now looks easy. Whenever you see someone doing something that's hard and they make it look easy, you need to know they didn't find the easy button because there isn't one. There is no easy button in life, and there is certainly no easy button in entrepreneurship. And successful entrepreneurs have just given up on that idea. They know it's hard. It's the amateurs that are still looking for the easy button. Number 4, entrepreneurs have learned that flexibility is just another word for responsibility. A lot of amateur entrepreneurs are trying to start a business so that they can have more free time or make a lot of money. And it's possible in entrepreneurship to end up with more free time or to make a lot of money. Those are possible outcomes, but to do so, you often have to surrender a lot of your time and a lot of your money to the process. They're after this idea of flexibility. They want to be able to do what they want when they want. They don't want a boss. They want to be able to run their own schedule. And a lot of times that's part of entrepreneurship. The problem is when you start a business, you don't have a boss, you have lots of bosses. All your customers become bosses. You're responsible for the whole thing. And with that comes some flexibility, but it actually is an increased responsibility. When we're after flexibility in life, what we're after is more freedom. And we often get those two ideas confused. But when you're actually getting the flexibility, what you're getting is more choice. You're getting the opportunity to choose this or that or this or that. And in doing so, what you have to do is make choices. And that's actually hard. There's a thing called decision fatigue because making choices is tiring. But the fullness of freedom is found in the process of saying, I want that, making the choice itself and taking responsibility for it. When we don't have flexibility, what that means is somebody else is ordering our world for us. They're making the choices on our behalf, and now we know what to do. And there's a safety in that. It also is a bit constraining, and sometimes that's uncomfortable. And so we want flexibility. But what a successful entrepreneur knows is that when you get increased flexibility, you have to take even more responsibility. That's where the power of entrepreneurship actually comes from. And successful entrepreneurs have learned how to do that. And number 5, entrepreneurs have learned that this idea of doing meaningful work that comes from passion, work you care about, meaningful work is connected to hard. To do something meaningful means to do something hard, but worth it. That's the key. It's hard work, but it's worth it. You've heard the meme, or you've probably seen the meme that says, if you work from your passions, you'll never work a day in your life. I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to say there, but that's often misinterpreted as if you're working from your passions, it won't be hard anymore, which is completely false. Just because you're working from your passion does not mean it won't be hard. In fact, it probably means it'll be harder, but it'll be worth it. The difference between punishment and sacrifice is not the lack of hard. It's actually just motive. The difference between punishment and sacrifice is motive, and motive makes the hard worth it, and that's what a sacrifice is. Entrepreneurship is about sacrifice. It's about doing whatever it takes to do the work to get the idea to be good. It's about competing in the marketplace. It's about losing flexibility. It's about gaining flexibility and taking more responsibility, which often means we're going to lose free time. It introduces us to the possibility of losing money. It's convenient to get a paycheck every week or every 2 weeks or once a month. Entrepreneurs give that up. Now there's an upside, but there's a bunch of downsides too. It's just, is it worth it? So, entrepreneurs know these 5 things. They know there's no such thing as a good idea. There's just ideas that you do the work to make them good. They know there's no such thing as an original idea. They just know how to put the pieces together to enter the chaos, to see opportunity in the chaos and order it in a way that creates value for others. They're not looking for an easy button. They know it's hard, but hard creates meaningful work. They also know that in the process of becoming an entrepreneur, you're increasing the responsibility you're going to take. That's why it creates such meaningful work. It's the amateur that thinks if they have a good idea, that it won't fail. Or if they have an original idea, it won't fail. It's the amateur that thinks they just need to find the easy button so they won't fail. It's the amateur that thinks they can start a business and then take a bunch of time off and just cash the checks. It's the amateur that thinks meaning and purpose makes things not hard. None of that's true. And when you figure that out, you start to live into what entrepreneurship truly is. And that is a bunch of hard work that's totally worth it. Even if and when you fail. Because you get to learn, make your ideas better, bring them to market in more powerful ways, and solve problems for the benefit of others.